Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about the Blackstone Chronicles Part 6, Asylum, by John Saul, originally from Random House, little tiny book, part of a serial novel, about 10 pages longer than the other installments. So, this is it. This is the end. For the too long didn't watch crowd, spoilers for those who want to hear the rest, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It is as well written as the other 5 parts, as I suppose any John Saul stuff. It has pretty much all of our surviving characters. It brings everything to a close, and yet I found it a bit disappointing. There is an object. If there's anybody who's jumped in here at part 6, each book has dealt with a cursed object being given to somebody in the town of Blackstone, and that cursed object causes chaos. So in this one, it is this razor blade, except that in this case, all it really does is trigger memories. It sort of triggers the end of the story. It doesn't really cause any chaos. It doesn't play out the way the first 5 books did, which is fine, but it's a lot of exposition. It's and I'm changing gears, shifting lanes, and it the conclusion, the solution, the whatever you want to call it, was basically what I expected. Since I don't remember, at least the second part, possibly the first part, I had an idea of what was going on and who this shadowy figure was. Turns out I was correct, and I don't know if that should that affect my rating. Um, I don't know, but all I can say is, as well written as this is, as nice it is as it is to have everything brought to a close, it just felt disappointing. Um, so I only gave it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, which is, again, that rating means I liked it. I didn't really like it. I didn't love it. I liked it. It was fine. But it fell flat for me. And I'll get into this. I guess I'm looking at the time. This is going to be very short because I am going to do one more video where I talk about all of the books together, the whole story, or the story as a whole. And there's an afterword in this part from John Saul, but I'm not going to talk about that until the last video of this little sort of series within the Low Budget Review Show. So basically, for this book, we have some carryover from the previous book. Something happened at the end of part 4 that carried over as sort of a subplot of part 5, and it becomes a bigger plot point. Since we are ending everything, it is a bigger thing here. I'm not going to mention what that is for spoiler reasons, but this razor is gifted to someone, and that sort of just triggers the, for lack of a better way to put it, information dump we get that explains everything. For the most part. I'm not going to. I'm going to save some things for the last video where I might get a little spoilery. So, all of that being said, that's the Blackstone Chronicles Part 6, Asylum by John Saul. It simply ends the story So I can't really talk about plot or anything because it's simply, I don't want to spoil some of the things that happened in the previous books, like that thing that happened in part 4 carries over through part 5 into this. I don't want to say what that is because it would spoil part 4. Um, but so that's sort of the only plot point. I mean, other than the overarching mystery, that's the only plot point that really carries over. And um, again, it's just sort of, it's almost that part in an Agatha Christie book where you've been reading Poirot questioning suspects, doing his investigation thing, and this is the part where he's gathered everybody in the drawing room and then explains everything. I suspected it might be you because of this. I suspected it might be you because of this. But then I put this clue together and this clue together, and I figured out that your motivation was this. That's kind of what this felt like. The other books, I should probably save this for the next video, but the other books, I feel like for the most part you could read them on their own because of the cursed object part of the story is supposed to be the main part of the story, and you can sort of ignore everything else and just enjoy that cursed object part. This you really can't because it concludes everything. So I gave it 3 out of 5, but don't despair. Watch the last part of this little mini series within the Low Budget Review Show for my overall thoughts on the story as a whole. So part 6, the Blackstone Chronicles, Asylum, John Saul, 3 out of 5. But it is part of a larger whole, so stay tuned. All right, no question for this video. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with K, ERIKSMITH 5757. And if you're on Blue Sky, I am @EL Smith. That is all I have. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.